1053 The Talk, WNN 1470 AM. See you there.
Talk 1470 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network.
If you've decided to get back to feeling good again like you used to feel, then you're invited to tune in to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob, at your service Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk 1470 WNN.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Hurricanes can cause severe damage to your home or property, so if you need storm repairs, make sure you use only Florida licensed contractors. Remember to check their references, get everything in writing, and don't pay up front. To verify your contractors are licensed, contact the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation online at myfloridalicense.com. That's myfloridalicense.com.
Talk health, talk wealth, talk politics, talk 1470 and 95.3 FM WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Congratulations on your engagement, and welcome to Wedding Talk with your host, Steve-O. Wedding Talk is a show where we give you peace of mind through your chaotic excitement of the wedding, where we have professional vendors weekly to discuss their services, experiences, and to answer any questions you may have to help create your dream wedding. To be part of our show, call in at 888-565-1470. Now let's go to the show. Welcome and good evening to another episode of Wedding Talk, guys. So I'm really excited. I'm excited about all my guests. But tonight's a really special guest because he's a good friend of mine, and he actually was my first guest when I started Wedding Talk about a year and a half ago in my living room. And here we are sitting together in the studio. So tonight we talk about, the best thing I love about my job and what I do is sharing those moments with, the biggest day of our bride and groom's lives. And we get to have the honor of being there. And talking about captured moments, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Richard Williams from Rich PhotoWorks. Rich,
hey,
thank
Stevie.
you for coming. How you doing,
It's a
sir?
pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Pleasure
So,
is mine.
So like I was saying, we know each other many years.
Many years, a mighty long time.
So this is a guy who not only I refer as a vendor, but he does all my personal stuff, my weddings, my children's events. So I really swear by his work. But this has been a really highly anticipated show, Rich.
Yes.
So
yes.
I already have tons of questions coming in from brides.
Ready.
But let's start off with, tell me a little bit about you, how long you've been doing it.
Oh man, I've been doing this now for over 25 years.
I'll show your age now.
Yeah, that's right. Over 25 years, man. Yes, yesterday I celebrated my birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
that's right.
thanks,
I did
man.
text you yesterday.
Yes.
So did you start in South Florida?
No, I started in Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
Yes, and then continue doing it here. Photography and video. Mostly do weddings, bar mitzvah, bat mitzvahs, a quinceanera, you name it. But mostly weddings.
What do you like most about what you do?
What I love about what I do most is that I love to see, especially brides and groom, I love to see couples in love, just having a good time, and see everyone having a great time and capture that moment, because those are like decisive moments, to capture in the couple's life, of the wedding day. So I enjoy doing that. So that's why
Rich, and it's being in the same industry as you, but it's like the bride books her venue and then runs the photographers.
Right.
So it just shows you the importance of what you do and how meaningful it is to the brides. They want their pictures.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
What do you do differently than, like if you were to compare work or whatever, what stands out in your work?
What I do is that I'm very close with the bride and the groom. I'm very close with them. I'm very into it. And what I do different also, stand out, is that my work, I do a lot of photojournalistic style. I do a lot of the regular traditional. And then I do a lot of touch-up. And the brides, they really love that. I capture a moment that they wouldn't believe until I see the photos. Like, wow, look at us, I enjoy that and see that on their faces, right? And the brides always call me back and, tell me how much they love it, and all the friends and family at the wedding or the mitzvahs, so who's that guy? Where you find that guy? Stuff like that, and that's a pleasure to me to keep doing that.
And we were, as we were driving here, we had this conversation about what makes us stand out in this industry. I mean, because market is saturated with DJs and photographers and everything else, and I think watching you work, from an outside perspective, and you can tell when someone's passionate about what they do.
Right.
On average, how many pictures you shoot a night?
On average, I shoot roughly 1,000. I'll say 1,200. Sometime more, but average roughly 1,000 or more. And the brides get all those photos. Edit all the photos nicer for the bride. Brides will say, "Are you gonna do touch up and stuff?" I absolutely do that. Touch up all the photos.
I believe that was one of our questions.
Yes. I touch up all the photos for them even before they even ask. I'll put some in black and white, and then they get the photos and they select what they want to go in the album, if they decide to go with the albums. So that's what I do different for the brides.
See, and Rich is a real cool cat. See how he's like laid back. I mean, that's how he really actually works. So I mean, and it makes such a big difference of being a people person.
That's right.
And enjoying what you do. So let's get to some of these questions. So, of course, the number one question, and I talk about this almost every episode, guys, is how far in advance do they need to book?
Well, that's a good question. They need to book at least 12 months because we book way in advance because we do the bridal shows. And when we do the bridal shows, brides come there with the weddings 4 years out. And they will come and look, and some of them will book at us right on the spot, and the wedding's like 3-4 years away. So I would say an average, time frame, 12 months, because I might come back within a few months and we're ready to book. Because we sit with brides before and they look at our stuff and they love it and everything, but they keep dragging the feet, and they keep doing that, they're going to get left, because it happens sometimes. Bride call me back like a couple months after I sit with them and say, "Hey, Rich, do you still have my date available?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, but the date is gone. I've already booked someone." And they really don't like that. But what can I do? If I'm ready to book, I'm ready to book.
So brides to be out there, you've heard it from, so far we've had this show on for the last 2 months. We've had everything from wedding planners to photo booths to hairstylists to makeup artists, now photography. And we're all telling you, don't wait. If you think 3 or 4 months is enough time, you're sorely mistaken. We do book out on average, like Rich was just saying, anywhere from, I would say, 9 to 12 months out. But again, we're so active in the community of doing these expos, where if you've been to an expo, anywhere from 200 to 300 brides just show up. And we give a lot of expo discounts and specials and promos, which we'll get to yours in a minute. But when we do that at these expos, like he just said, I mean, I'm already booking 2020.
Right.
And that's great for us. But, it's brides that are just going to wait for the last 3 or 4 months that is going to be left behind. So let's talk about, what promotions are you having right now?
Well, right now we're running a special for the summer. And the brides, even the mitzvah's parents, once they reserve us between now and July, the end of July, the special we're running, we'll give them 15% off. For the brides, we'll give them a free engagement photo session. As long as they reserve us between now and the end of July. It's a summer special that we're running. And the wedding or the mitzvahs can be like sometime this year or next year or 2020, doesn't matter, as long as they reserve us now. And brides out there, don't wait too long, because we do book way in advance, as we said. And once you sit with a photographer or a DJ or a florist, once you see what you like, you must lock it in, because you're going to come back and we might be able to book.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And they will have to start all over again by finding other vendors.
Okay, so we have Yvette on the phone. Yvette wants to know, how many other weddings will you photograph that weekend?
Well, Yvette, good question. It depends, because we do have a team. We have a team of 6 photographers and videographers. But for me, myself, I would do like one wedding for say, on a Saturday. I don't do like 2 or 3. We have other photographers in the company that go out and do that too. But if you sit with us now and you say, are you available? Or can I get you? We'll put it in writing and say, yes, I'll be the one coming. Or if you want to meet the other photographer or videographer is coming, we will always arrange that too. But once you see what you like and we have the date available and you want to book with us like you want me personally, you sign on the dotted line and we yours.
So you heard it from the man himself. So we a lot of repetitive questions. How long you been in business? We ready to discuss. So how far in Florida will you travel?
Well, we travel all over Florida. We go.
I could have answered that one for you.
Yes. we go all the way to the Keys. You know, we go all the way to Jacksonville. You know, I did one in Tallahassee recently. We go to Orlando a lot. You know, so we travel, even out of state. And don't let me go further. Out of the country too. You know, we do lots of destination wedding all the time. I just did one in Maryland in last month. Beautiful wedding. So we do travel.
Well, and now we're actually hooking up with Paul from Cruise Optics.
There you go.
And he's going to try to get us into sandals.
Right.
So that's going to be really exciting.
We travel in the Caribbean more often than what we're doing now. So yes, we do travel. All
right. So Stacy wants to know, how would you describe your photography style?
Hi, Stacy. How are you doing? Our photographer style, as I was saying earlier, is that we do a lot of photojournalistic and we do the traditional poses. But the photojournalistic will let you be yourself and we just capture the moment. But we are directing you, so you're not on your own, you know, because you won't know what to do really. It's up to the photographer's job to do that to you, you know, and then lead the way, and then we capture all that moment. So our style is a bit different from the average photographers out there. But what we also do is that we're giving you unlimited photos because every bride is different. So we want to please each bride. So we do unlimited photos with the mixtures of what we do. And we're going to put some of your photos in black and white, mix them with black and white and color. Even if you don't like it in black and white, you still have the original in color. So I hope that answers your question, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacey. And thank you for everyone listening. And thank you for the questions. I mean, I love doing this show. And the main purpose of the show is for you.
That's right.
For an open forum, for brides to be, grooms to be, in-laws to be.
That's right. That's right.
Anyone that's involved in an event. This show, Wedding Talk, is specifically for you guys that I'm bringing on different vendors in this industry to put in front of you, and you can ask these kind of questions. So it's great. What I always like to ask my vendors is, what is the most common do's and don'ts, per se, that you see the brides making in today's?
What I would say about that is, if you sit, for example, I speak for myself, for my profession, if you sit with a photographer today and you like his work, and but the price, you might have an issue with the price because it might be a couple hundred more. I would say, don't say, you know, you're going to go shop around and go with somebody less, much less, because you might end up being sorry. Because it happened to a few brides that I know, and they called me back, and even a couple brides, it happened once. They called me back and see if I can edit those photos for them because they go to a cheaper photographer. And because I love what I do and I'm a people person, I do take the photos from them on the disc, and then I re-edit those photos and kind of build it nicely for them because they go with a cheaper photographer. So that's what you don't want to do, you know. And then the do's, like I said, is if you like what you see, you like the photographer, or you like the DJ, you like the personality and what they do, and see how passionate they are about their skill, I would say lock in that person. Otherwise, you might regret it if you go somewhere else. Because it happened to you too.
Oh, plenty of times. I can't even share enough stories.
That never use you and use someone else, end up being sorry. So those are the do's and don't, you know, they don't want to do.
So Nicole wants to know, in reference to your traveling, do you charge a traveling fee?
Yes, Nicole, good question. We do charge a traveling fee. Depends on the distance. For example, if we're going to the Keys, yes, we'll charge a traveling fee to go to the Keys. And if we're going to Orlando, but if we're going to like Jupiter, Port St. Lucie, Miami, we don't charge no fee for that. But further than that, yes, we do charge a fee, which is only right and fair.
I chuckle because brides are all about, the artwork behind it and how you're going to make them look on their special day and stuff. And grooms are always right to the dollar.
Right, exactly.
They want to know the price.
The right in that check.
So, as
Yes.
you guys know, on this show, we don't discuss any prices. But I think we could touch base on Mike's question. Mike has a question for, do you accept payments and installations?
Hey, Mike, yes, we do. We do have quite a few brides. We do lots of installation prices. They pay us accordingly. Some of them do whenever they get paid. Some do per month. We really don't like that, but we'll do that. We'll make that accommodation, for the bride and the groom. Some people that do want to pay it off before that time, so they have a little space, a little gap, a breathing space, they can relax and say, oh, we don't have to come up with $1,000. I want to pay a photographer or a DJ or $2,000. So yes, we do payment installment.
Like you said, we don't prefer that, but we
Yes.
will do it. Okay, so Daisy has a long one here. So let's see. Do you prefer, I guess, Daisy, I'm assuming you're a photographer or you know of the industry with this question, but do you prefer to blend into the background to capture candid moments, or do you like to be more visible and take charge to choreograph the images?
Yes, we like to be more visible. We don't like to stand out like that, if I understand your question correctly. We stand in the background and we just capture that moment for you, if that's the question you're asking. Did you get that clearly?
Yeah, I guess I guess what she's trying to say is it a stand and shoot, or do you try to capture more? I think you do both.
No. We move around.
Yeah.
We don't just stay one
I was going to
place.
say, Rich is like the dancing photographer.
Yes. You won't even notice us when we're there capturing that moment for you, because we move around discreetly and just capture that moment, and then when you look back at the photos and you're like, wow, look at that, we're really doing this, we're really doing that, because those are decisive moments, so we don't just stand around, if that's, answer your question correctly.
Jolie Marie would like to know, what is the average size of your weddings?
Average size of the wedding I do in terms of guests, I would say we do 100. That's the average size.
Yeah, that's what I would agree with you.
Yes, 100.
So, and how long does it take you to get the work back?
The images back?
Yeah.
We do the images back in 3 to 4 weeks. Sometime you might get it back before that, but that's our average turnaround, because we do weddings and mitzvahs every weekend. Almost every weekend we're totally booked out. So as you can imagine, that do take some time. Some guys might take months, couple months. I know some photographers take 4, 5, 6 months. We don't do that. The most we'll do is 4 weeks.
See, I got the easier job. I go perform and then it's done.
Yes. Once you go and
you
set
have
up on
homework.
duty, yes,
You
we
have
got
your
the
homework.
It's only get started once we're there and capture that moment for you at your wedding. It's just get started.
Okay. Charlie wants to know, do you shoot digitally with film or both?
No film. No one do film anymore. I gotta say that. I gotta be honest about that, my friend. We do digital, and that's why we do unlimited photos. We do unlimited photos and give you that on a USB drive and also on a disc. So you have two medium we get your photos from. Yes, no more film.
Okay, so Ryan, he wants to know. Wow, it's a lot of grooms on today.
Oh, good.
Usually
That's
I
good.
don't get
That
the
is
grooms.
good. That is
so
good.
it's
That
good.
is
The
good.
noise is getting around. The show's getting out. Okay, so
The guy's
Ryan wants
interested.
to know. So now, Ryan, again, we don't address numbers, but we're not going to discuss numbers. But maybe we could answer without numbers. What is included in your standard package, and what add-ons the more expensive packages include?
Well, the standard package, you do get the unlimited photos. Every package I do give you unlimited photos. So we'll get unlimited photos, and all those photos will go on a USB drive on a disc, like I was saying earlier. And then if you want to print photos, well, that's a different charge. But the standard is you will get the unlimited coverage with the unlimited photos, and all the photos will be edited. And like I said, you get that on the disc and the USB drive. And then, for the higher end package, you do get a nice album. Like I have one here to show. I have a nice big one here. If you can see this one is called the Coffee Table Book, and it's 14 by 14. The photos are making to the book. So with this package, you will get the unlimited photos. You get like 2 photographers, videographers. It comes
See if
with
you can put it on the table, Rich, because I think the light is glaring onto it. There you go.
Okay, is that better? Okay. Oh,
There
it's
you
glaring,
go.
yeah. It's glaring.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Oh, okay. Much better, much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the package that comes with the iHand, the album that comes with iHand packages. And you will get the album, and these pictures you will select once you get your photos back. You will select the photos to go in your book, and you can select anywhere from 100 to 120, and we'll design it nicely, and you'll get to see it before it goes into the book.
Look at the size of that wedding party.
Yeah, look at that one. That's a big wedding party. As someone asks, the size of the wedding we do. And as you can see, we do a lot of special effect, a lot of fun stuff. We're gonna.
Oh, my favorite page. Ready?
Yeah, there you go. There you go, your favorite page, Stevie. Yes.
You know that guy,
right. That's good old.
Mr. Billy Crystal.
Yes, that's right. We did his family. We did his family's wedding in Boca, right here in Boca.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a big fan of the black and white.
Yep. Family right
But I like when it's black and white like this. See, like it's black and white, but there's colored. See the colored flowers. I'm a big fan of that. That's just my preference.
Yes, we do a lot of mixtures like that. We mix colors and black and white with the iron packages. Yes, we do a lot of iron. We do a lot of mixtures with the photos, the black and white and the color. Mix it up together for you. And you will get to see a book, like I was saying earlier. You get to see an album before it's printed. So you get an input into the book. So there's no surprises. Some guys will just print the book and give it to you and say, hey, have a nice day. We don't do that.
And you guys can't appreciate it, but the thickness and the quality of the pages, I mean, you really can't appreciate it unless you sit down with Rich and review it yourself.
And you do. One thing I must point out to some of the brides and the groom out there. There is books like these, not totally, but these are the knockoff books. Some folks will print you the knockoff one that you can print yourself online. But these one you won't get these to print online because these are only available to professional photographers from different companies all over the country. So that's why
good to
these
know.
books.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why these books stand out, and it's a little bit pricey. But you're getting good stuff for your money, as you can see the stuff. And as Steve pointed out just now, is that the pages, the pages are very thick and stand out.
Like I said, you guys really can't appreciate it from watching us, but see, like that, look at that black and white with the color background. I mean, I love that stuff.
And these are the type that would do the photojournalistic, the candid moment.
So as we were speaking of the art before, as one of the questions came in, I forgot who said it, but do you do the candid shots or do you do the straight on? But as you can see, he does both. I mean, so that's a straight on, but as you can see here, no one's looking at the camera. Probably didn't even know he was taking the picture.
That's right. We'll mix it up. We'll mix it up for
I
you
think
guys.
we mix it up, but that's
how we do.
That's great.
We'll mix it up, and we'll take you from one scene to another scene. Anyway, you're getting married, it's going to be a different scene. We'll capture all that special.
So here's some of your engagement shots.
Right. Here's some of the engagements.
Because that was the next question was,
yes.
Do you include engagement shots?
Yes, we do include engagement photos in most of the packages. And for all the brides out there now who's getting married soon, call us and book us now and check out our website. You will get the engagement session for free. We'll also give you big photos with that too to be displayed at your wedding.
Now, this young little girl is not getting married. So.
This is a quinceañera. This is 16.
This is a quinceañera in Miami.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful book, guys.
Yes.
And that's just one of the options that you have when you go with Rich. So let's get back to some of these questions.
I'm adjusting my mic.
Can I customize the package to fit my needs?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I allow all my brides to do that. Because, like I said, every bride is different. And my package, you might not like the way it is based on your budget, too. So definitely you can customize your package to suit your need.
Rich, so here's a question I have for you. And we'll get back to these, I promise. But I like sharing the fact, because we're doing it so long.
That's right.
And I've been asking all my vendors this, that's been in the business so long, is what have you noticed what changes have you noticed throughout the years of doing this? at performing at weddings?
The changes I've noticed is that it's kind of sad to say, but a lot of brides, for some reason, they're cutting back. I don't know if it's because of budget or what it is, but they're cutting back from like for example, a videographer or even a DJ, because I'm at a wedding sometime and I see there's no good DJs. I was like a little a nephew or an uncle playing the music, just come with a table set up like this and the wires hanging around and stuff like that. And for the photography side of it, they might not have like a videographer, just a photographer there, and they cut back a lot. Or they might say they only need you for a couple hours, so that's
well, I'm going to share an experience that I had a couple weeks ago. I did a wedding, and the bride had her, I think it was a good friend of hers or a co-worker or whatever, was actually doing photography.
Right, there you go.
Okay. So, and this is a big thing, guys. We get it all the time. And we discussed last week, before I finish this story, but as we discussed last week, ladies, you got to remember, when you're booking a vendor, okay, whether it be a DJ, a photographer, a video, whatever, always remember, number one, they have to be insured and licensed to perform in most venues. Most venues won't even allow them in the building.
That's a good point.
If they're not insured.
That's a good point. That's food for thought. Yes, you're right about that. So make sure that all your vendors are insured, because it happened before. And a lot of brides, when they're booking us, they do ask us, you guys insured? And we say, absolutely, because in the business, you got to be insured.
Yeah, and a lot of the venues will be performing at hold our license, hold our insurance on file. So they already know. But ladies, when you go to your venue and you thinking about having a friend or family member perform,
you got to think twice.
The first thing you got to ask the venue is, are they allowed? Because most of the time, friends and family members, they do it on the side. It's, so they're not going to carry a $2 million policy or whatever the case is, like someone like us that's doing it full time. Anyway, so back to my story.
Yeah.
So here we were. A friend of hers was doing photographers, right? But she was a guest.
Right.
Okay. So she was sitting at a table.
Right.
Right, with, I'm assuming her husband or her boyfriend or whatever, and all her friends that they knew. Now, as well as I do, there's a lot of formalities, a lot of stuff that goes on throughout the evening.
Right, and they don't know that.
And they don't know that. So I had to and I felt bad.
Right.
But I had to keep interrupting her while she was eating.
That's right.
Because I'm like, we're going to do parent dances. I'm so sorry. And, she never gave an attitude. She wasn't, but it was,
that's,
so guys, so my suggestion is, do you want your friend or family to enjoy your day?
That's right.
Or do you want them to come and work? It's hard for them to balance that.
And you're right, Steve. And I would say that's a no-no. You don't want to do that to your friend. And I can understand if you're on a tight budget, but you want your friend to be there enjoying the moment. And that's why you have to go and tell her each time there's something else coming up. Because that friend also is not a wedding photographer. So they don't know. And if you wasn't the DJ that you are, that loved and caring to these folks, you would just keep doing your thing and you're missing the moment.
So, guys, we're running out of time. But, Rich, it was great always talking to you. But where can they find you?
Okay, you can find us at our company is Rich Photo Works. So you can go to my website, www.richphotoworks.com. And we also on Facebook too, which is our Rich Photo Works Facebook or Richard Williams Facebook.
And your phone number?
And the phone number is 561-310-1198. You can reach us.
Thank you so much, Rich. Thank you all for tuning in each and every week. I see the audience getting bigger and bigger. I'm really hoping you guys are getting a lot of information from this, and it's educational. Tune in every Monday, 6 o'clock, right here, Facebook. Also at 95.3 FM and 1470 AM, Wedding Talk. This is your boy, Steve, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Stevie.
Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in to Wedding Talk. I hope you found this useful and made it easier for you in your big day. Please tag, like, share this video, and most importantly, tune in next week. But for now, enjoy your honeymoon and talk to you next time.